graduation ceremony of the Agents of Change Social Change Program under the Youth Training Center Mentorship Program. My name is Carl Muckette, and I'm part of a team called Radius Solutions. And Radius Solutions is insistent on empowering the youth, strengthening communities, and making positive change throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And Radius is happy to partner with the Youth Training Center mentoring team in bringing the Agents of Social Change program to the prison service. So without further ado, I want to welcome the Superintendent of the Youth Training Center, Mr. Elvin Scanterbury, to bring greetings for us.
Welcome to the Youth Training Center and welcome to this graduation this afternoon. Listen, you are sitting here and you will witness a very historic event this afternoon. This afternoon is the culmination of a big vision of the Commissioner of Prisons. Many years ago, while he was at the Youth Training Center, we started the mentorship team. And really, this is a crime prevention strategy where we train the young boys to tell their story so that it will impact on the lives of others and cause them to turn away from crime. We could be very well working our way out of a job, but this is the passion of the Commissioner of Prisons to touch and save lives. The big vision is this year he has expanded the mentorship team to include adults from the female prison and the maximum security prison. And I tell you what we are seeing so far, that these adults are having a tremendous impact on the lives of the young people of Trinidad and Tobago. But we were surprised of the impact that the adults were having on the young people. So this afternoon, I welcome you, and I hope that you will be able to enjoy yourself and definitely know that you are part of history, and the history of Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service. Thank you very much.
A few months ago, perhaps September, October last year, I was having a conversation with the Commissioner of Prisons, Mr. Stewart. And we were talking about the YTC mentoring program and ways to expand the program. And one of the things we recognize is that we're not just mentoring, we're not just speaking to individuals, we're actually agents of social change. And that's one of the first changes we wanted to make to the program, renaming it the Agents of Social Change program. And then the Commissioner of Prisons said, it must not just stay at the Youth Training Center, we must expand it to the women's prison in a big way, expand it to the adult male prison establishment. And not only the adult male and female establishment, but we must expand it to the officers as well. And here's the question that was on our mind. What if we could cause officers to develop, and these officers go to their respective stations and cause others to develop, other officers? What if we could cause a group of our inmates to develop and go to their respective stations and cause their fellow inmates to develop in certain ways? And what if we could just take this outside to the wider community and spread the gospel of constructive youth citizenship? And that is the vision that is actually driving this program. We are actually trying to cause a group of officers to recognize the strengths within themselves and carry those strengths on their respective stations and see wrong taking place and say, okay, yes, we are going to correct this wrong. And we are asking the inmates as well to see their fellow inmates doing wrong and make their best attempt to correct the wrong. So in November last year, we started with this program, which was supposed to be a 20-week program. In January, the Commissioner of Prisons said, I'm sending more people, started over. So we started afresh, and we were supposed to go for 20 weeks. We started with self-development. Remember when you're on an aircraft and you're going to another country, the instructions are, take care of yourself first before what? Attempting to help others. So the first part of the mentoring program is for us to take care of ourselves, look at our interpersonal concerns, our interpersonal deficiencies, our interpersonal concerns and deficiencies. So we look at the changes that we need to make within ourselves, we address those, then we develop some content that we could take to the wider public. We could go to the wider public and say, listen, I behaved in this way and I got this result and I ended up in a place I don't want to be. If you behave in this way, you would get the results that I got and you would end up where I am. And that's what we've been doing for the past 5 months or so. So I actually have about 5 minutes to give an overview of the program, and I want to invite Mr. Carasby to share with us, from an administrative perspective, his thoughts on the Agent of Social Change program, what he thinks it could do to the prison service as a whole, and what advice he would give to members of the service. Mr. Carasby, Superintendent of Prisons.
It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon to speak or to share some thoughts with respect to this issue of the mentorship program. When Carl asked me to provide some words on this, I asked him what exactly he wanted me to speak about. And he told me to try to locate this mentorship program within the context of the strategic priorities and responsibilities of the prison service. You know, I hope it's not lost on any one of us that all that we are about here this afternoon is about making Trinidad and Tobago a safer place. The courts will do it from their vantage point, the police will do it from their vantage point, the prisons has to do it from its vantage point. Because you see, in 2002, the Batiste Task Force made recommendations for improving the conditions of the nation's prisons. And among the recommendations that were made, 3 critical at the level of ideas: the introduction of a restorative justice philosophy. The mentorship program is an additional layer. We're now adding an additional layer. Traditionally and historically, the role of the prison as far as crime prevention is concerned is in relation to preventing persons from reoffending. So at the first level, the short run, the person comes into the institution and the prison officer has to ensure that the person remains in the jurisdiction for the time of the sentence, or if remanded, until the person reappears at the court. But secondarily, to ensure that whilst they're in the prison, that they're not able to cause harm or hurt to the public. Could you imagine someone comes into the prison at the age of 25 years and serves 5 years a flat sentence, so that they leave at the age of 30. And for that 5 years, the prison does its jobs remarkably well, and that person is unable to commit any offense for that 5 years. But guess what? The person has to leave the institution and goes back into the public domain. The person has to live till let us say we know that the lifespan is 65 years. So what happens to the protection of the public for that next 35 years? Are we satisfied to say that we have done our duty if we protect just for that 5 years? Or should we want to make some intervention in that person's circumstances, that for the next 35 years, when they're out there in the public domain, they will not return to a life of crime? You be the judge. Tell me, based on that scenario, which responsibility in terms of the protecting of society should be greater? Is it the 5 years for the maintenance of security, or is it the further 35 years when the person is outside and return to a productive life? I submit that it's the latter. It's the 35 years of continuous protection. And this mentoring program is attempting one additional layer of attempting to treat with this. For that particular period, when that person returns to the society, they will be interacting, and we are hopeful, because at the end of the day, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We are hopeful that the intervention strategies will work. This mentoring program goes beyond the traditional scope, because we are speaking about trying to get the people before they come to prison, before their behavior that may be showing a certain inclination to deviance passes the stage or gets to the stage of an arrest, a charge, an imprisonment, or even before the courts. So this is one of the wonderful new layers that the mentorship is seeking to treat with. Going to the schools, going to the public, the various publics, and trying to get persons who may have high criminogenic risk factors that may lead them to this place to ensure that they do not get here. So what about the mentors? You mentors yourselves. What about you? You today, some may say it's a graduation, but I see it as a declaration. A declaration that says that it matters not how I have arrived here. What matters is when you get here, what you do with the opportunity. Arriving is the basic level. And I say to you mentors that you have arrived here by a warrant, not disparaging. Claim your past. It is your past that has brought you to this day. Do not be afraid to claim your past, because in this ceremony today, you are declaring. You are not waiting to be considered when you get out there to see if we have succeeded in rehabilitating you. You are declaring before all here today that you are rehabilitated and you are prepared to take the further step that speaks of that rehabilitation. And you're prepared not just to hold it for yourself, you're prepared to share it with your wider community. You're prepared to be a servant. You're prepared to bring that service. And the country will be justifiably proud. For every single individual, your intervention, your interaction, your conversation, for every one of those persons that doesn't get to these shores, you have done your job well. So I want to say to you, you're always going to have the old man and the new man, the old woman and the new woman competing to overtake you. It's about discipline, it's about choice, and always it's about Almighty God. So I want to thank God for this first step. I want to recognize the members of the band, Mr. Hyman and Mr. Trotman, the first mentors. The first mentors. It teaches us fundamentally that where there is life, there is hope. Thank you.
I want to introduce our judges at this point in time for the public speaking contest. We have 3 judges, and we want to thank them in advance because we know they have a very difficult task ahead of them. Our first judge is Ms. Carleen John. She's the president of the Ventures and Investment Program. Mr. Curtis Nero, he is a senior accountant at the Caribbean Agriculture Research and Development Institute. I got it right. And we have Ms. Petra Grove. She is an advisor at the Irish Consulate and a corporate secretary. And she will be our third judge this afternoon. So here's my invitation to us today. What can you do about it? What can you do about the situation in women's prison that was shared, where not enough attention is being paid to the concerns of mothers and their children? What could we do about it in terms of right-mindedness, using the wrong approach to address certain causes, thinking that the end justifies the means? What can we do about it? What can we do about prison reform? What if prison reform was about people development? How would that change the way prison officers are trained? How would that change the emphasis we pay in the prisons training college? What if we were more on helping a brother out and an officer leave home on a daily basis and all I'm concerned with is helping one single person today? What could we do about stigma, defanging the stigma, weakening the sting about a boy who comes out of YTC or a person who comes out of the prison? What could we do about it? So let me share that secret again. Sit in front of your mirror and stare into your pupils and teach yourself to address some of these concerns that we are facing. We are the ones we've been waiting for to bring the change that we need. No government could do it, no commissioner of prisons could do it. No one could do it but us. The problems occur at our level. The interaction with each other is where the problems occur. And the solutions must be with the interactions with each other. So while we take a break before the other 4 contestants come on, we're going to invite Nevil Glord from Musical Vibrations to come and give us a few messages in song. Ladies and gentlemen, Nevil Glord.
When I bring a message from the lifers to you, right? Those brothers who in prison long, 25 years and 50 years, you know, they speak behind them, you know, they bring hope to them. And they tell them thanks, right? For everyone talking about the system so long and they contribute so long and everybody forget transform life for us, who ready for society, who ready to go out and contribute back to society. Right? So this is our little appreciation. Contribution, I make it the song I sing, because friends, there's a valid reason for the tide in which I now bring. Take a look at the times we live in, and its effect on our children. Why do they live in hatred and violence? Tell me what is motivating them. Take a look at your television, an instrument of the age for information and entertainment. It is a master of many slaves. Almost every program it is a waste of violence. So when we watch how the youth are living, we see a source of their influence. So I'm asking, fathers and mothers, please come home. Let us place back some moral values into our children before it's too late. Fathers and mothers, please come on, let us place back some moral values into our children. Come on, I say leaders and elders, please, I say let us place back some values into our children. Come on and stand with me, teachers and parents, please, I say let us place back some moral values into our children.
Before we continue, I want to take this time to recognize two extraordinary women who have been dedicating their time selflessly to the prison service. Miss Norma Clark and Miss Lashley Myrtle. I know Mr. Muckette wanted to acknowledge Miss Clark because that is his teacher.
Before we go into the impromptu segment, we just want to recognize and give some tokens to a few persons. If you enjoyed the presentations you've just witnessed, we want to say thank you to Miss Green of the Programs and Treatment Department. We want to thank David Springer of the Programs and Treatment Department, Dinesh Budu of Maximum Security Prison. You can just stand and take a little clap. Dinesh Budu, thank you very much. Jesuja Mutilal, she's not here, but we could give her a clap and she's here where she is. Jason Akwi, who led us in prayer. Mr. Akwi. Mr. Mitchell, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mitchell is the everything guy. So sometimes you're under pressure, you just look for a phone booth, run inside and put on a cape with ice and come back out, problem solved. Thank you very much for everything, Mr. Mitchell. We want to thank Mr. Mirage, he's not here, from MSP. Send him a clap. Marlon Beckles, I saw him somewhere around, thank you for everything. And Randy Sterling, who worked 48 hours, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure we are ready here. 48 hours. So we want to give him a big round of applause. As well, we want to say thank you to Dr. Letitia Williams of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, who came and she was a judge in our preliminary round. And not only that, she allowed her a good part of her staff to come out and support us, who worked with the guys individually, getting rid of all the kinks in the presentations, as you saw there. So we want to say a special thank you to Dr. Letitia Williams, and we want to recognize the staff here in a tangible way. So we want to call on Alicia and Avalon and Afia. Apparently she chose staff whose name started with A. And Shellyanne to come forward and just receive a token of our appreciation. I'm not going to tell you who they worked with, so I'm just going to say thank you very much, Shellyanne Jackson, for all the support for the past 2 months. Alicia De Silva Didier, thank you for everything. Afia Samson, thank you very much for everything. And Avalon Girjadat. Thank you, Mr. Scanterbury. Thank you very much, ladies. They were tremendous over the past 2 months, coming here every Tuesday from 1 to 5 p.m. and working with us, trying to get us ready for this day. We want to say thank you very much. Last but not least, we want to say thank you very much to Mr. Samuel Bernard of MediServe International of the Ventures and Investment Program. He was one of our judges in the previous session. Not only that, he's been providing support to the Youth Training Center since Mr. Stewart was here. So big round of applause for Mr. Samuel Bernard. And he's still standing by to provide whatever support.
Some people believe that restorative justice is a joke. I tend to differ. I believe restorative justice is one of the crucial elements in the development of our society. A transformation of the prisons in order to formulate change in society. Restorative justice deals with the transformation of inmates that comes into the prison. Restorative justice don't just see an inmate as a person who have offended against the state. They see a person who have also offended against society. And where retribution is concerned, restorative justice stops retribution. Retribution, however, deals with lock them up, throw away the key. Restorative justice deals with transform, make a meaningful and positive contribution to society, to deter crime in our country. Thank you.
So your topic is abuse of power.
Abuse of power. You know, there is an old saying, they say, power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. When someone is invested with power, trust me, it doesn't really affect the person alone. It affects the outer world in that he controls people. One of the problems that we have with people who are giving power, if they do not understand the responsibility, how to dispose with that responsibility, then trust me, we're going to have chaos. For example, when you have power, you control not only yourself or your family or outer society, you control almost the universe, because why? Power is something that makes you feel so powerful, you feel like you are God. And therefore, you can, you know what you can do? You can keep people down. You can destroy people. Because when we look at our society today, what is happening is that we have people with power, but we're having chaos in our society today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Natasha, your topic is consequences of sexual irresponsibility.
There's an old song that goes like this: rude boy, don't be silly. Put some condom on your willy. Is that wrong and you don't want to catch it? Now the reality is this. When we have sexual irresponsibility, it means that we are not only affecting ourselves, but we are affecting the person that we are involved with. Sexual transmitted disease do not write on each and every one of our faces. Sometimes one can be strong, sexy, you name it, and they're walking around with the virus. The reality is that when we have unprotected sex, we also create something called unwanted pregnancies. Sometimes this leads to persons having HIV/AIDS, chlamydia, herpes, gonorrhea, you name it. And the saddest thing about it is that we are looking healthy as ever. Ladies and gentlemen, my advice to you is this: be patient, and as the Bible rightfully says, abstain. And if you can't abstain, try to sleep it off now or have a cold shower. Nevertheless, as we say, sexual irresponsibility is a very serious thing. And one of the most important things is that when we have babies that are being born with HIV, they don't get the opportunity to have life. They do not have the opportunity to survive, and they do not have the opportunity to become someone. Thank you.
Kayla, your topic is prison. Is it a frame of mind or the environment?
Is prison a frame of mind or environment? To me, prison is a frame of mind. Because right now I am currently incarcerated, but I am free mentally. I might not be free physically, but I know that there are some people out there who are in prison mentally. They are out there and they are studying, well, we are getting money to do this, we are getting money to feed the baby, and they're studying all kind of thing. I am in jail, but yet still, I can have a free thinking I can have a free mentality. I am free even though I am incarcerated. Ladies and gentlemen, do not let anything bother you, whether in or out of prison. You are your own individual. You think positively and continue to do your best. Thank you.
Brandon, your topic is life after prison.
Life after prison. Life after prison does sound to be easy. We leave the gates, we walk out, and we're just there. But sometimes we don't study what we are going to do in the prior future. What is our plans? What we intend to be in the next 5 years or the next 10 years. Life after prison is one of the most serious things. I, personally, am expecting a greater life after prison. I'm reformed, I'm rehabilitated, and now I can go and have a better life. Because life before prison is what led me here. So my life after prison will lead me to higher places, because this is just a stepping stone. Life after prison develops what you have learned in this time you have spent incarcerated. Life after prison, it's hard, but nothing is insurmountable. You will get over it. Thank you.
Vernon, your topic is legalize it.
Bob in one of his songs said, legalize it and I will advertise it, not to abuse it. Today we are experiencing tremendous problem with backlog of cases in our system, and when you really check it out, you get locked up for a joint or a small quantity of marijuana, you leave prison with a record, and it makes it very difficult for you to leave the country or if you get a proper job because of the record. So I strongly suggest and support those who are calling for you to legalize a small quantity or decriminalize marijuana, so we can get rid of some of these problems that we are experiencing today. So, legalize it, I will advertise it, and advise you all not to abuse it. Bless.
Arnold, your topic is the influence of rap and dancehall music on our youth.
I am sure that many of you all has radio in your house, TV, whatever. And I'm sure many of you all listen to the content of rap, certain type of dancehall, and even reggae. And I'm sure many of you all has your own opinion in relation to music, because music affects everyone differently. You may hear a song about legalize it, and you may agree with it. Someone else may hear a song, legalize it, and disagree with it. So music depends on how you look at it. But at the same time, there are a lot of negative content in music today that are leading our youths astray, like abusing women, taking of drugs, robbing, and bringing back the spoils for the boss. That is what music has in it today. Some music, I should say. So when you listen to rap, dancehall, and to hip-hop, be very mindful. We have 2 ears. Listen to it with 4. Make your mind one of the ears to listen to with it. Because at the end of the day, whatever you as individuals allow to come in your mind, as I said early on, it will come out. So in the meantime, enjoy the music, enjoy the fun, and at the same time, be responsible. All right? Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, do you all think our mentors are capable out there? And that brings us to the end of our impromptu session.
So, big round of applause for everything we've seen so far, ladies and gentlemen. So, let me say a little bit about Radio Solutions that is partnering with the Youth Training Center to bring this program together. Real quickly, we recognize at Radio Solutions that young people are not doing as well as they could.
Around 2011, a superintendent came to the Youth Training Center and made several changes to the landscape. These changes challenged the status quo and proved to be lasting and beneficial to the institution. Some of these changes were: the names of the dormitories were changed from names of trees such as cedar, mahogany, to labels of virtue and value, such as kindness, respect, peace, and charity. The dissociation unit, which served as a punishment section, was renamed the reflection unit, and when placed there, the young men were encouraged to take a time out and think about what they have done. The job placement program went on steroids during that era, where one young man was able to save as much as $48,000 while being at the institution. Around 2011, the superintendent was promoted and left the institution as an administrative event. But in his heart, he never left YTC. Ladies and gentlemen, Radius Solution would like to honor none other than the Commissioner of Prisons, Mr. Sterling Stewart, with its very first Patron of the Youth Award.
So on behalf of Radius Solutions, we want to present this award to Commissioner of Prisons Sterling Stewart for invaluable service to the young men at the Youth Training Center. And the award reads, on behalf of the youth of Trinidad and Tobago, Radius Solutions is pleased to present Sterling Stewart, the Patron of the Youth Award 2016 for outstanding service at the Youth Training Center.
Don't move.
Apply, yeah. Who gone by big man by? Yeah, everything I buy big man by them. Everything. I know buy it. I pay in the bank still by him apply now, please. I 2 trend.
2 trend and 5.
Oh God. Come on, apply.
As a matter of fact, go in the chunk.
Oh God, don't come any chunk.
What kind of man thing is this going on here? I don't kill this man, right? Wait, this man could have just give me a thing in the bike. Wait, boy. This man could have just give me a thing, you know? What try come and do? People real reasonable and bull-faced in this place, yeah, boy? I real feel that, boy. As a matter of fact, it don't happen already. Let me listen to kind of music this man playing in the car. Bang, bang, bang. This is my kind of music. This is my kind of music. No man curse. Hear it? No fear. But wait now. That ain't a bright boy Bobby there. Yeah, boy, that bright boy Bobby, boy. If I move everything, nobody wanna make out nothing, boy. Nobody wanna suspect nothing going on. Hey, Bobby. Bobby, what going on, boy?
PDL? See that? Where you get us from?
Oh, Uncle and that's for the weekend.
Serious? You
I'm
sure?
telling you.
Alright.
Where you going?
I'm going to cricket practice, boy.
You coming now? Where mean who, boy? Gears, boy. They see that, boy. What man ride by Humpty, boy? I can forget it now.
You sure your uncle any this?
I have a light here, boy. I have a prayer, boy.
Would now.
Wait. Put on your seatbelt. Before we go now, boy. One thing I want to do for me now, boy. You can do that for me?
Yeah. Got it back.
Where's the volume there? Yeah. Police, boy. Police. Good afternoon, officer.
Right, good afternoon. We're conducting a routine exercise. License and insurance, please.
What I say now? What I say now, boss? A good Friday like this, are you working so hard?
Yeah, boy, but today's really Monday and Indian arrival day too. And I could be somewhere else.
I kind of am.
That's alright.
I'm feeling tired, it's so hot now, so I know the
problem.
days.
We could have been liming, river lime, beach lime, drinking some beers now,
Now I say.
But the work that's how they go, license and insurance. I'm saying, now let me be straight here now, boss, right? I'm talking the truth here. You listen to me?
I listen.
You sure?
Of course.
Right. My uncle now.
Mm-hmm.
There's he kind
Right.
and he had the insurance for the car.
Okay.
And I said, man, I forget my wallet too.
Right, all the stuff about the vehicle, everybody had to get searched here.
My boss, I reach and ride up going for cricket practice.
Come behind up on the hood up here.
See, my dog.
Ride it, up. Don't move it now.
Sergeant, have a dead body in the trunk, you know.
What?
Dead body, hey.
Hold on. There's another here.
Boss.
I reported
Boss, my uncle kind of. Bobby, tell him, man, you kill him. Tell him.
Me? Not me, my wait.
Right, I got fire in the car. Only call him for backup and then carry them down the station one time.
You are mad?
There's another here. We on 5th and Banana Street. You are immediate backup. We have a homicide in process. Let's go.
All right. So who do we have here this morning, Officer Williams? I thought I saw you here last week.
Well, my shit, to tell you the truth, the police them set me up.
All right, okay. The last time you said the same thing too, but that's okay. Mr. Bobby Figaro and Mr. Rudy Williams, it is alleged that on February 2nd, 2016, at number 3 Clifton Lane, Mayaro, you committed the offense of murder of Hilton Gary. You committed the offense of murder of Hilton Gary contrary to common law. This is an indictable charge and you are not called upon to plead. You're also jointly charged with the larceny of a vehicle. Mr. Figaro, the next time you utter a word without it being a response to a question I ask you, I shall find you in contempt of court. Do you understand me?
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Yeah, you born on my wax on so. What you feel it is? You in Mackie?
Okay. You are both remanded into custody and you shall next appear in the Princess Tongue Magistrate Court on the 5th of July 2016.
Bobby!
Yes, officer?
Bobby, I didn't warn you, you know, God, boy. I tell it to you from that boy Rudy.
Good day. How are you doing inside here, son?
Ma, it's feeling like a bad dream and I can't wake up from it. But I okay for the meanwhile.
You okay in this place? Oh God, child, look at you looking tin. Like they ain't even feeling it.
Yeah, they're feeding me now, but it's nothing like you and my sweetheart. And the other day, I gave him a drink of Moby. I swear they mix it with aloes. It's better. And plus, so you see when I come out of here, I don't want to see our next hub's bread in my life again.
And White Tip is offered a program.
That White Tip in here?
Yeah.
Good now.
So big man, you see now, boy, that man like my little sports and thing now, boy. It had inside, yeah, like rugby and thing inside, yeah, and thing.
Well, yes, it have a rugby team in here. Right now they're trying out for the national team. And hopefully some guys, they will make it to the national team.
Fellas, that's something I
So
plan now.
So here was
You
saying.
go try something.
What about A-levels? That is what I was studying for.
Well, you can talk to the school officer. You never know what can happen. It has some guys here doing a university degree in music. And you know, you're like a bright fella too, so we could do some inmate tutors to do something.
Ah man, that sound like my kind of thing, mate. That sound like my kind of thing.
Right, so, let me tell you this. Everywhere you go, in this world, there's always have a good and bad. It have good and bad inmates, so it have two officers. You have to cipher the good officers from the bad officers. And, you know, keep that positive mindset. At the end of the day, though, you could decide what you want for your life. You could be a drug abuser, a gangster, thief, or a positive influence. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. The ball is in your court.
True.
Yeah, man, I'm a big man. As a man here, I was telling Bobby there. And I decided that was a good thing, you know. At some point, I had to wake up and smell the coffee and realize that life is not a joking matter, you know. Bobby, man, you go way back on that, all the blood thing ain't really making no sense on that, all too. And you can't be fighting. No, but me and you can't be fighting now.
Fighting amongst themselves. Or this is fighting on the court matter.
Go way back like you used to, you know.
Yeah, boy, Bobby, boy. You know, I already Rudy, boy.
I don't know enough about you. The choices you make today determines your future tomorrow. It have a saying by friends as carry and don't bring you back. But it all boils down to the choices you make. The choices I made lead me into prison and lead me doing bad things. But wherever you are, you can always make the best of it. Have a good day.
On behalf of my fellow judges, I'd just like to say thank you for the opportunity to, judge the presentations. The thing is that at the end of the day, you end up ranking things. But let me just say that standing as individuals, I think you're well poised to be agents of change. I applaud the Institute for supporting the initiative, and we would, having been exposed to this, surely would spread the gospel as to what is happening, because it's a message worth spreading. All right, and so again, thanks for giving us the opportunity to do this. Without further ado, I would go ahead and indicate what are the places. And the third ranked presentation with 333 points, it would be Mr. Girjadat, Sewpersaud. The second place presenter with 340 points, Mr. Arnold, Ramlogan. And the number one ranked presenter this afternoon, and we applaud her passion and her delivery, Natasha Deleon.
With much deliberation, we came up with this person. Everyone has shown such a great improvement since the program has begun. But our most improved mentor this afternoon is none other than Nicholas Daniel. Our most promising mentor this afternoon is Miss Shellyanne Angaloo. Shellyanne will be presented with the Most Promising Mentor Award by Miss Germaine DeGraff, Acting Assistant Superintendent of the Women's Prison.
So I want to invite the Commissioner of Prisons to say a few words to the graduates and, of course, the families here today. Ladies and gentlemen, Commissioner of Prisons, Mr. Stewart.
All right, up there on the stands. I want you all listening, please, thanks. I know you don't have two left here, so trying to hear right here now. Thank you. To God be the glory. All blessings upon this proceedings today. I want to say thanks to all who was involved in making this a success today. I want you to put hand together to everyone involved. All the dedication, all the commitment, all the sacrifice, all the effort. To all the agents of social change, those mentors, because it have a purpose for this season. This didn't happen just so. This spirit that came upon me came from above. Because I understand the need for you all to tell your story. You see, during my years here at the Youth Training Center, I realized that a number of young persons was coming into the institution and burning before they learn. Before they had that knowledge to think before they act. They were finding themselves into this institution after the fact, now reaching in a position that they have to do time for the crime, are not willing to do that. And I realized that somewhere we needed something extraordinary, an intervention. And that is why the thought came to use these social agents of change, of transformation, of metamorphosis, because sometimes that is needed, to use them, their mess that they get into, their mess, to use that as a message. To go outside there and touch and save lives. To sow a seed and reap a thought. To sow a thought and reap an attitude. To sow an attitude and reap an action. To show an action and reap a habit. To show a habit and reap a character. And to celebrate life and live life and use all the gifts that have been bestowed upon you from above, all the gifts, your glory, to touch lives, to make a difference for your intervention, to heal and deliver and to empower and guide and protect. If you're talking protection, if you're talking about change and transformation, we must be talking about Proverbs 23 verse 7 that said, so a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, because we know at this year time that the heart of the problem is the problem of the heart. And we have to turn the heart around, early o'clock. And we believe, I believe, that prevention is better than cure. And that's why these people service. God give them assignment, now start, the journey now start, because they have to go outside there. Be the change you want to see. So as we speak about champions of character, we speak about knowing good. Remember the 3 hours? My colleague, Mr. Carasby, speak about one, relationship. The other one is responsibility, taking responsibility for your actions, for your words, your deeds, your attitude and behavior. You want to take responsibility. You must take responsibility. And the second one for you young men up there, and this message is for you. I want to know you to free your mind from that burden and chains and shackles, to break out that chain. Respect. We have a problem with respect in this life. Start to respect yourself so you respect others. And respecting yourself is knowing, seeking, knowing good. Because for one thing, sure, when you do good, what is supposed to follow you? Do good and what? Yeah, goodness. So that's the second part. Knowing good, loving good. Loving to see good, loving to see things like this, to participate in things like this, to enjoy life. Life is for living, to celebrate life, because you know you're not passing this way twice. So actions speak louder than words. It can't be just talking it. And that the self-control, the self-discipline, the self-regulation. You have to regulate yourself, the self-policing. Because you know, you're running and you're running and you're running away. You're running and you're running and you're running away. But you can't run away from yourself. You know what you're doing. And if our Father knows what you're doing and what's in your heart. And let me say this straight up, because that's the way I do it. Straight up truth. Or we talk about prison. Prison is a savior. If it wasn't for prison, that guy would not be alive today. And one day is life, there's hope. And one day is the will, there's the way. How many people here believe these people have the ability to go out there and touch and sow that seed and make a change in life? Put your hands together and say, yeah, yeah. And this is what we're talking about, revolutionizing this thinking outside the cell, thinking outside the darkness, combating darkness with goodness. I, as the commissioner of prison, within my time, going to allow these persons here to go outside, because that's since I was superintendent, as I told you before. I have the mentoring team from Whitey going outside there and talking to thousands of school children, giving the story, even guys who was on the remand. Because with me, it's not remand and convicted. Long you show the effort to conform, to transform, to make a difference. Don't get doing it positive vibration. You get that opportunity. This is an opportunity to go outside and make a difference, because Trinidad and Tobago need a country now. I want to have the better life in the land that they live in. We could do it. We can make a difference. Forget the past, because that gone. It's supposed to teach you a lesson not to go back down that road again. But I want to live in the now. And the best way to live in the now is to make a difference. You be the difference. You make the difference. Because you know, you have the experience. They feel they know. And you know what's bad about them? They don't know that they don't know, that they don't know, and feel they know, and feel they're bright. Until they reach, bring back the cell. Oh, Granny! Granny talking to me long time, I don't listen, who don't hear feel. So you make a bed, so you lie in it. You know what I'm saying? Long as you have an end. Yeah. Wake up, my people. Wake up, my people. This is a time to listen to the voices. Open up your ears and open up your spirit. The youth of YTC, this is the opportunity. I see too many of you all graduating from here into the adult institution. That had to stop. This had to stop today. No. You have too many programs inside here. You have too many officers and volunteers making an effort to make and to sow a seed. I see a life of light into you. And you have to open up your heart to receive. Stop the folly and the foolishness. And I always ask one simple question, and I'm to date, 30-something years, I haven't seen one person stand up yet. And look, I'm going to ask today again, and I bet you bottom dollar, nobody will have. Who here don't know right from wrong stand up? Well, let's see for yourself. So since we know that we know, then we have to do it differently. You need to do it differently. Even if not for yourself, but you have a next generation coming that need you. Because that some of these lifetimers, let me say it again, so they can hear it outside there, hear the voice of the commissioner of prison. I want to commit myself. I have some lifetimers here that transform their life, that they're no longer a risk to society, to your neighborhood, to your community, to your environment, that they can take the time for them to be outside here, making a difference in society. They're ready. They're ready. They learn the lesson. They were speeders, they crashed, they come to us, and they're ready to go outside there with positive to all the graduates today. I want to personally sincerely, genuinely congratulate you for a job well done, for doing that work, for that taking up that call, for being part of this, for the sacrifice and the hard work. You understand? Now, if we're talking about relationship and we're talking about change and transformation, we must be talking about 1 Corinthians 13:11. That's it. I call it the love chapter. When I was a child, I thought and think and act and behave like a child. And when I grow old, what happened? What happened when I grow old? I take responsibility and put away childish behavior, put away foolishness. We here to assist you to put away that. We have these agents of social change or social change agents of mentors here willing to assist you both internally and externally. Those boys from YTC, you have to continue walking the walk here. Your journey now start, your assignment now start. That whoever you see in need and wherever you see a need, and you know that you can make a difference, because the most powerful medium on earth is what? The most powerful medium on earth is the tongue. The power of the tongue. Life and death lies in the tongue, and the food thereof. The tongue can either ignite a situation or extinguish a situation. And that's why they use the tongue to touch and to heal, for positive. We have to stop cursing ourselves by the way we use our tongue. We have to use our tongue for blessings. I feel like I can release, all you go home. I feel like I can release all the mentors and change angels, let them go down so and work out, go home now, church. We're doing your 30-something years and this next one, but go. We're looking forward to that day. I want you to stay positive. Remember, we walk by faith and not by sight. You want to stop the doubts. Don't get frustrated with the doubts. And build that faith in eternal life. Trust in Him. You know you have to go through this fire for a reason. You know why. You know why you're going through this fire. And there's a reason why you're here to do just what you're doing here today. This was destined. Just what you're doing here today. To use your life and use your story, Natasha, to make a difference, to touch lives. You hear me, people? That's the reason for this. Let me reinforce again. Some of your friends not here with you today. They're going to the underworld, and you here today with hope, with life. The most precious thing in life is what? What is the most precious thing in life? Life. Without life, there's no you. So life is for the living. Celebrate and live life. One love, blessings.
We would like to thank Mr. Carl Muckette and Radio Solutions for the commitment to youth development and for choosing YTC as one of their major projects. This program began in November 2015, and ever since, not a week has passed and Mr. Muckette didn't visit the program. We would like to thank Dr. Letitia Williams of the University of Trinidad and Tobago for serving as one of our judges in the preliminary segment of the program, as well as for facilitating her members of staff with the necessary time off to assist the participants of the program in their delivery skills. These individuals include Ms. Alicia De Silva Didier, Ms. Afia Sampson, Ms. Avalon Girjadat, and Ms. Shellyanne Jackson. We also want to thank Mr. Samuel Bernard, CEO of Mediserve International, for providing us with the judging services in the earlier round and for making arrangements for the president of his organization, Ms. Carleen John, to serve as one of our judges today. We want to thank our judges, as we mentioned, Ms. Carleen John, Ms. Petra Groves, and Mr. Curtis Nero. We know you had a tough job, and we thank you. We want to thank the musical vibrations of MSP for the musical accompaniment and all the entertainment they provided. And to also especially thank Mr. Leon Mitchell for all his sacrifices and effort. And if you enjoyed the play, it's all because of him. Last but not least, we want to thank our very own Mr. Callister Victory, who event after event brings our gymnasium to life. And the meal you're about to consume, he made it. Last, I want to thank all my colleagues, too many to name, but in particular to say thank you to myself, Mr. Sterling, and to Ms. Green for the all-nighter we made last night into the morning to make sure that we cross all our T's and dot all our I's to ensure the success of the event. Finally, thank you all for coming out. Do enjoy the interaction.